In 2007, Lionel Messi picked up a baby boy and bathed him, held him, smiled for a photograph. That baby was Lamine Yamal. On Sunday at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, that same baby is going to try and take the World Cup trophy from the man who held him 18 years ago. This is not a football match. This is the most extraordinary story sport has ever produced, and it is happening in 4 days. Welcome back to Robert's Football Talk. I am your host, and if you are new here, subscribe right now, because today we are breaking down the World Cup final that the entire planet is about to watch. Argentina versus Spain. Messi versus Yamal. 39 years old versus 19 years old. The greatest player who has ever lived versus the player who might one day surpass him. The man who bathed the baby. Against the baby. Subscribe right now. Let us go. Part 1. The photo that broke the internet. Before we talk about football, we have to talk about this photograph, because it is the image that has consumed the entire World Cup conversation in the last 48 hours, and it is genuinely one of the most surreal things football has ever produced. In 2007, Dani Alves held a charity event. Messi attended. Yamal's father Munir brought his infant son. And in the photographs from that night, Lionel Messi is holding baby Lamine Yamal, smiling. A young Messi in his early 20s, holding the child who would grow up to become the most exciting teenage footballer the world has seen since Messi himself. 18 years later, that baby is 19 years old. He is the most important player for the European champions. He has 5 assists at this World Cup. He scored against Saudi Arabia. He tore Portugal apart. He was the best player on the pitch when Spain eliminated France 2-0 in the semi-final. And on Sunday, he lines up across from Lionel Messi in a World Cup final. The same man who held him as a baby is now the man standing between him and the most important trophy in football. Football does not write stories like this. And yet here we are. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk right now, because the story gets even bigger. Part 2. What Yamal said. The confidence that has the entire world talking. Here is where this story goes from extraordinary to explosive. In his press conference before the final, Lamine Yamal was asked about facing Messi, about what it means to play against the greatest player of all time, about how a 19-year-old processes the pressure of a World Cup final against Argentina. And Yamal said something that has been replayed on every sports channel, every podcast, every social media account covering this tournament. He said he is not afraid of anyone. He said Spain have the quality to beat Argentina. He said Messi is a legend, and he has enormous respect for him. But he said Sunday is a football match, and in football matches the better team wins, and he believes Spain are the better team. He did not say, I hope we do well. He did not say, we will try our best. He said, we are the better team. 19 years old. World Cup final against Messi. And Yamal is telling the world Spain are going to win. That confidence is either the arrogance of a teenager who does not understand what he is walking into, or it is the composure of a generational talent who has been in these moments before and knows exactly what he is capable of. After watching Yamal at this World Cup, I think we all know which one it is. Now I want to ask you something before we go further. Does Yamal's confidence excite you or worry you as a Spain fan? And if you are an Argentina fan, does it motivate you, or does it tell you Spain are going to be even more dangerous than you thought? Drop your answer in the comments right now. Part 3. Messi, 39 years old, walking, still deciding World Cup finals. Here is the most extraordinary statistical fact of this entire World Cup, and it deserves to be said out loud because it is almost impossible to believe. Lionel Messi has scored 8 goals and provided 4 assists at this tournament. He leads the Golden Boot race. He has assisted more goals than any other player in the knockout rounds, and he has spent nearly 2/3 of his time on the pitch walking. Not jogging, walking. The greatest player in World Cup history is strolling around these pitches at 39 years old, spending 65% of his game time at walking pace, and still producing 8 goals and 4 assists in 7 matches. His goal against Algeria, his hat-trick that broke Klose's record, his assists against Cape Verde when Argentina were 2-0 down, both assists against England in the semi-final. Fernandez and Martinez both scored from Messi crosses in the final 12 minutes to send England home. 2 assists in the 85th and 91st minute. At 39 years old, That is not a declining player. That is not someone running on fumes. That is the greatest footballer who has ever lived, operating at a level that defies every known understanding of how the human body ages in elite sport. And he saved his best moment for the most important match. Both goals assisted. Argentina in the final. Messi with 12 goal contributions in 7 matches at his 6th and final World Cup. If he wins on Sunday, it is over. There is no debate, no argument, no counter. The greatest player in the history of the sport wins back-to-back World Cups at 39 years old against Spain, against Yamal, the baby he held 18 years ago. That is the story Sunday is writing. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk right now and share this video, because the next part is where the real argument lives. Part 4. Can Yamal actually stop Messi? The tactical truth. Now let us talk football, because the emotion and the story are extraordinary. But Sunday is decided by what happens on the pitch, and the tactical picture is genuinely fascinating. Spain under Luis de la Fuente play a hybrid shape, a 4-2-3-1 that becomes a 4-3-3 in possession. The offense runs through Yamal on the right flank. He cuts inside on his left foot. He finds passes through lines that should not be possible. He delivers from wide areas. He is the creative engine of the most technically complete Spain team since 2012. Against France in the semi-final, Spain were magnificent. Dembele and Mbappe both had quiet nights. France, who had scored 13 goals in 4 previous matches, were held scoreless. Oyarzabal and Porro scored. Spain, 2-0, France out. And Yamal was at the center of everything good Spain did. Argentina play a diamond midfield. 6 players in central areas. Messi floating between the lines, finding pockets where no space should exist. Lautaro Martinez leading the line. Mac Allister and Fernandez providing the defensive and creative balance in midfield. De Paul doing the dirty work. The tactical question that decides Sunday is this: does Argentina's diamond give Spain's wide players the space to hurt them? Or does Argentina's central congestion suffocate Spain's build-up play and leave Yamal isolated on the right side? Yamal against Portugal was extraordinary because Portugal's defensive structure gave him space on the outside. Argentina will not give him that space easily. Their diamond packs the center and forces wide players to beat their man one-on-one or find a way to cut inside into congestion. Can Yamal beat his man one-on-one consistently against Argentina's fullbacks? He has done it to every defender at this tournament. He did it to France's backline. He did it to Portugal. He has pace and technique that make individual defending almost impossible when he is in full flow. But here is Argentina's defensive weapon that Spain have to solve. Cristian Romero, the Tottenham center-back who has been the most aggressive, most physical defender at this entire World Cup, who wins headers, who makes tackles that hurt, who gives attackers nothing comfortable. He is the last line between Spain's attack and Argentina's goalkeeper. If Romero has his best match of the tournament on Sunday, Spain's attack becomes significantly more difficult to execute. If Yamal finds a way past Argentina's defensive structure, Spain win. That is the match in one sentence. Now let me ask you this. Who wins the individual battle that decides the final? Yamal against Argentina's left back, or Romero against Oyarzabal through the middle? Tell me in the comments. Part 5. The Messi baby photo. The most extraordinary subplot in World Cup history. Let us go back to the photo because it deserves more than a paragraph. Dani Alves shared the original photograph on his social media account earlier this week. The image of young Messi holding baby Yamal, and the caption he wrote alongside it has become one of the most shared pieces of content in the history of football social media. The image captured something that no scriptwriter would dare put in a film because it would seem too unbelievable. The man who is about to play his final World Cup final was present at the birth of the career of the man who is about to play his first. Messi was at that charity event in 2007 because of who he was becoming. Yamal was there because of who his father knew. And in that moment, in that photograph, the torch between generations was passed, without either of them knowing it. Messi has won 2 World Cups, 8 Ballon d'Ors, 4 Champions Leagues, 10 La Liga titles. He is the greatest footballer who has ever lived. He is 39 years old and playing the final match of his international career on Sunday. Yamal is 19. He has 1 Euros title. He has 5 World Cup assists already. He is the most exciting young player on the planet. He has potentially 15 more years of football at the highest level ahead of him. One of them is at the beginning. One of them is at the end, and they meet in the World Cup final on Sunday at MetLife Stadium. The baby photo is not just a social media moment. It is the visual representation of everything this final means. The passing of an era, the arrival of a new one, and the question that football has been building toward for 2 years. Is Yamal ready to inherit the world that Messi built? Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk right now. Share this video. We are almost at the verdict. Part 6. The odds. Who does the world think wins Sunday? Let me give you the numbers because after 6 weeks of following this tournament, the numbers matter. Argentina are slight favorites. Their tournament experience, their defensive resilience, their ability to win ugly when the football is not flowing, and of course Messi's 12-goal contributions give them the edge in most prediction models. But Spain are the most complete team left in this tournament. They have not conceded in 3 consecutive knockout matches. They beat France 2-0 when France had scored 13 goals in their previous 4 games. They have Yamal. They have Pedri. They have Rodri returning to his best form. They have Mikel Merino coming off the bench and scoring late winners in 2 consecutive knockout matches. This is not a mismatch. This is the 2 best teams in the tournament meeting in the final. And either result is completely defensible based on the football both teams have shown. The difference might come down to one moment. One Messi free kick. One Yamal cut inside. One Merino arrival from deep. One Romero tackle that stops the chance Argentina needed to stop. One goalkeeper save from Emiliano Martinez, who has been one of the best shot stoppers at this entire World Cup. One moment. In a World Cup final. Between 39 and 19. Between the man who bathed the baby and the baby who grew up to be his greatest challenger. Part 7. My prediction. And the legacy that gets written on Sunday regardless of the result. Here is what I believe. If Argentina win, Messi becomes the first player in history to win consecutive World Cups as the primary creator and scorer, at 39, against the best Spain team in over a decade. That is a legacy that places him not just above every other footballer, but in a conversation with the greatest individual achievements in the history of human sport. If Spain win, Yamal at 19 becomes the youngest player to win a World Cup final as the key creative force since Pelé in 1958. He would have beaten Messi at a World Cup final. He would have taken the trophy from the man who held him as a baby, and the new era of world football would begin with a statement that no one can argue with. Both outcomes are extraordinary. Both outcomes write history. Both outcomes deserve to be witnessed. My prediction? Spain 2, Argentina 1. Yamal with a goal or assist. Spain's defensive organization holding Messi to his quietest night of the tournament. And Lamine Yamal lifting the World Cup trophy at MetLife Stadium in the same tournament where Messi made 12-goal contributions and played the greatest individual farewell in the history of the sport. But I have watched this tournament for 6 weeks, and one thing this tournament has taught everyone is that when Messi needs a moment, he finds it. Even at 39, even walking for 65% of the game, even in a final against Spain, even against the boy he bathed as a baby. Do not write him off. Not now, not ever. That is the full breakdown, the baby photo, Yamal's confidence, Messi's 12-goal contributions walking at 39, the tactical battle, the legacy waiting to be written, and the most extraordinary subplot in the history of football. 3 questions. Drop all 3 in the comments right now. First, who wins Sunday? Argentina or Spain? Second, does Messi score in his final World Cup match? Third, is Yamal ready to be the best player in the world right now? Or does Sunday prove he still has growing up to do? Drop everything in the comments. I read every single one. And this is the most important debate football has had in years. This has been Robert's Football Talk. Hit that like button, share this with every single football fan you know because Sunday is the biggest match in football and you need to watch it with this breakdown in your head. Subscribe if you are not already here. New videos every single week. I will see you on Sunday for the final.